What's up, guys? My name is Jerry, and today's video is going to be on the Portland Trailblazers, and we're going to be talking about how dangerous their offense is, and we're going to jump right into the video. The Trailblazers are now 4 games into the NBA season, and they have a record of 4-0. So for right now, we can say that the Portland Trailblazers are undefeated. Now, I want to look at their first 3 games of the season, which all came against formidable opponents. They played the Sacramento Kings, and then the Phoenix Suns, and then the Los Angeles Lakers. Now, the Trailblazers did win all 3 of those games, but as I watched, I feel like the offense wasn't firing on all cylinders. Now, they were getting great shots. I love the offensive system that Chauncey Billups have in place, but I feel like guys like Jeremy Grant and Anthony Simons, they were still looking for their rhythm and flow to start the season. So last night, they played the Denver Nuggets, another formidable opponent, and I think we saw just how scary this Portland Trailblazers offense can be. The backcourt, Damian Lillard and Anthony Simons combined for 60 points. And then Jeremy Grant and Jusuf Nurkic. Grant poured in 21 points and Jusuf Nurkic poured in 13 points. And the Blazers had 6 total guys in double digits. Nasir Little and Shaedon Sharpe also had 11 points. So as I was watching this game, I'm looking at the personnel of the Portland Trailblazers and their offensive system, and I feel like the only way you can stop these guys is if they're having a bad night, is if they're stopping themselves. And I think it all starts with this dynamic backcourt between Damian Lillard and Anthony Simons. Now, I think this backcourt has the potential to be the best backcourt in the NBA, and I tell you guys, I am not over-exaggerating. I've been watching Damian Lillard closely since 2018, so I naturally attracted towards the Portland Trailblazers. I love tuning into their games, and last year when they traded everyone away and Dame went out with his injury, I still tuned in, and I'm glad I did because I got to kind of watch the coming out party of Anthony Simons. When I tell you guys, I am a huge fan of him, and I think he has so much potential. And we talked about this earlier in the video and in yesterday's video. We got back-to-back vids on the Portland Trailblazers. We talked about how Ant was getting off to a very slow start. He's usually one of the most efficient three-point shooters in the NBA, and I think he was just in a bit of a slump to start the season, and that's very normal. And I think guys got to understand that shooters are not going to be able to shoot consistently all season long. We've seen it from Stephen Curry last year when he went through a very rough shooting slump. It happens to the best of the best. But anyways, Anthony Simons, I think he has the opportunity. We already know what Dame is going to bring to the table each and every night, but I think Anthony Simons has the chance to elevate these guys into the best backcourt in the NBA. And we look at Anthony Simons. What I love about him is that he doesn't dominate the basketball. Now, it might seem like a possession where he's bringing the ball up every play, and this was last year when Dame wasn't playing, but I don't think he holds on to that ball for more than like 7 to 8 seconds. He makes his move very quickly, and if he doesn't have his move, he's coming off the ball, and then the Blazers get into moving the basketball around. But Anthony Simons, his skill set is out of this world. I'm telling you, it's like him, it's like CJ McCollum and Damian Lillard. It's like both those guys had a baby, and I don't mean that in a weird way, but when I see Ant, you could just tell that he was just soaking up as much information from Dame and CJ as possible because he looks like the two put together. And when I look at him, he has the range that Damian Lillard has. He has that creativity that CJ McCollum have, and then he has his own spin to it with his athleticism and then his super quick jumper, and he gets great elevation on it. And then he's just a 3-level scorer. He can knock down the 3-point shot off the catch, off the dribble. He can get to the mid-range and pull up, and he's a fantastic finisher around the rim. So I think Anthony Simons, on the offensive side of the ball, he has an unlimited amount of potential. And when you pair him with a guy like Damian Lillard, it's like pick your poison. And we saw that last night when things are clicking for the Blazers and shots are falling. It's not much you can do. Damian Lillard, I feel like he poured in a quiet 31 points. Even though, Dame, he had a team high 31. I feel like last night was all about Anthony Simons. He had that huge third quarter where he could not miss a 3-point shot. And it kind of reminded me of something from Stephen Clay, when you just got two guys who cannot miss. They cannot miss from that 3-point shot. But when you tie him together with Damian Lillard, and I actually think even though they're both high volume scorers, they play really well off of each other. And this is because they can both play without the basketball in their hands. And I've seen this so much from the Blazers since the season has started. They're not just using Damian Lillard as a weapon with the basketball in his hands. Chauncey Billups is smart enough to know that Damian Lillard is a top 3, top 5 shooter in this league. So if you running him through off these screens, kind of like what we see with Stephen Curry, it's going to attract so much attention and it's going to get easy buckets for everyone else. And when Dame is doing that, it allows Anthony Simons, he can run the offense, he can run that 2-man game, and then you have Damian Lillard coming off an action on the other side of the court. So it's really puzzling and it could be hard to figure out. And we saw it last night, especially when everyone is hitting. So I'm really fascinated with this backcourt, man. I think they have the chance to be the best backcourt in the league. Now, the backcourt isn't the only thing that makes this offense great. That's just half of it. To have a great offense, you have to have a good backcourt, and you also have to have a good front court. And when we look at the Blazers' front court offensively, I actually love it. And this is because they have made some great additions to the team. Last year, at the NBA trade deadline, they added Josh Hart via trade, which has been a great pickup. We see how hard Josh Hart plays and how he crashes the rebounds. I love it. And then you also bring in Jeremy Grant, a guy that has put up 20 points per game in the NBA before, and then holding everything together, you have the big man Yusuf Nurkic. Now I want to start with Jeremy Grant, and I think he is such a great addition to the team for a team like the Portland Trailblazers. And I think Grant is one of those guys that you can put into any offensive system and he's going to flourish just because he has that versatility of being effective with or without the basketball. And I think when you have guys like Damian Lillard and Anthony Simons, when those guys start cooking and teams decide to trap or double team them, you can give the ball to Jeremy Grant. He can make a move, or he'll be wide open for a jump shot or a cut. It doesn't really matter because Grant, he can do it all on the offensive side of the ball. So I think that is great for the system that the Portland Trailblazers is trying to run. It's a very high motion offense, a lot of ball movement, and a lot of pick and roll. So I think when you have a wingman like Jeremy Grant that just has all the tools you would want a forward to have on the offensive side of the ball. He can get to the rim, he can finish, he can post up, and he can knock down spot up shots. And the same thing with Josh Hart. And I know he averaged 20 points with the Portland Trailblazers last year in his short tenure there while the season ended. But it's a lot of guys coming back, so he's not going to get that many touches. But still, if you need him to, he can create for others. He can create his own shot. He knocked down wide open shots. And then I think another guy that unlocks a different level of offense for the Portland Trailblazers is Yusuf Nurkic. Now, he doesn't get enough credit for, first of all, in that 2-man game. He's such a huge body. He sets some great screens, and it unlocks a lot of things for this offense, whether it's a wide open 3 coming off the screen for Anthony Simons or Damian Lillard, and then he rolls hard to the rim, and he's a great finisher around the rim. So you have that aspect. But also another thing I love that the Trailblazers do, and I've noticed this watching them these first 4 games and really over these last couple of years, Yusuf Nurkic has always been able to do this, but he's a great playmaker from the high post or from the low post. And I love when they'll ISO him out, they'll post him up on the weak side, they'll let him go to work, and if teams come to help, they have some strong side actions going on, whether it's a screen for Dame or for Simons, or if it's a backdoor cut, just things like that. So I just think the Portland Trailblazers, the starting 5 that I've been seeing right now with Simons, Hart, Damian Lillard, Jeremy Grant, Yusuf Nurkic, this lineup, man, it's going to be very tough to figure out on the offensive side of the ball, because it's like, what weakness can you find? Because the only guy out there that can't knock down a 3-point shot consistently is Yusuf Nurkic, but he's out there setting screens and getting guys open. So I just had to come on here, talk about the Blazers, and I will admit, I'm a fan of the Portland Trailblazers. I enjoy watching them play, and I'm a huge fan of Damian Lillard, and I'm starting to love little Anthony Simons. But that's going to be it for this video, guys. If you enjoyed, please leave a like, comment down below what you think about this Blazers offense, and then subscribe for more weekly content. We do this all the time, man, and that's curtains.